go.
Sorry. Just wanted to be like you.
No, it's okay. You're doing a good job. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Metal Forge Reviews. And I'm Ben. Brandon.
Brandon Green.
That's right. Nice to see you again. Thanks for joining us. Today we're going to talk about some pretty recent releases. These are all releases that have come out in the last few weeks. Today is January 23rd, 2020. So we're going to talk about some pretty new stuff and stuff that we want to recommend to you, stuff that we think is worth totally checking out. And we're going to kick it off. Haunt 2020 release, Mind Freeze.
Mind Freeze.
My mind has been frozen by Haunt.
With the switch, the days are gone. Starting now to move along. Watch your spirit rising high. I only wish I'd say goodbye to all the loved ones that have fallen. Like the beacon of remembrance, honor every single story. Like the beacon of remembrance.
Now,
Seriously.
you were the one who introduced me to the band. I hadn't really heard about them before, so what were like your initial discovery points of them? And
So, I mean, this is kind of an interesting time in metal right now because you got all these bands that are doing this like new wave of British heavy metal.
right,
And like, you know, really, really killer bands in the last couple of years, Eternal Champion, Summerlands, that's just to name a few. But, you know, this band popped up, I believe I found it on YouTube, and I like love the logo, I love the artwork.
yeah,
And the album that stood out to me was actually last year's release of If Icarus Could Fly.
okay,
But when I heard it, I was like, holy crap, this is a really unique take on the heavy metal kind of classic style. It's got a really, really cool, like old school feel to it, but it's also really refreshing. Like the vocals are very unique for the heavy metal style. It's
Right.
not that typical like really powerful Dio kind of sound. It's
Yep.
kind of subdued and spooky sounding.
right.
The riffs are great. They're like, you know, they go in and out of like, you know, feel good, catchy kind of stuff and like really big power chords and driving drums. Really great band.
Yeah.
And when I saw that they were having this album drop, I was like, I gotta check it out. And
Yeah.
it does not disappoint.
No, it doesn't. I think, well, just kind of going based on our criteria here, we have number one for sonic quality. Now, to me, what I really like and what stood out to me about this band is it's not entirely pitch perfect. He's not Trevor Church, the singer. He's not always on key. But it's a nice touch. It really kind of lends
works,
to
man.
this like the old school like screw it, we'll do it in one take type of mentality. Like let's just get after it. It's about the music. It's not about being totally perfect and totally on.
But it is still ridiculously catchy.
Yes.
And
Right.
performed very well.
It's the
you know?
performance is amazing. While it's not flawless, I think the flaws. I'm using flaws very, very loosely here. I don't think there's really many flaws of the album. It's got that old school like vibe, like
Yeah,
it's like got
it's
like
awesome.
that idea, and it gives off this very analog quality to
I mean, the
it.
record starts with the synth sounds, you know, and it's like, ah, cool, we're kind of going here with it, you know?
Right.
And that song, "Light the Beacon," is just, that's how the album starts out, and it's just, you got this kind of creepy vibe, and it matches the album artwork. You know, it's got this like kind of dungeon synthy kind of sound to
Right.
it, and then all of a sudden the main riff comes in really hard, and it's really catchy, and you're bobbing your head, and it
Yeah,
kills.
yeah. So in terms of sonic qualities, was there anything that really stood out to you, or?
I mean, it's immediately apparent that they're going for that old school sound, and it works really, really well. You know, the one thing I really liked is, you know, the attention to the engineering is great.
Yeah.
You know, like the push-pull between like when the vocals should be in the front, when the guitar leads are in the front. The bass is loud, and I love when
Yeah.
bands do that.
Yeah.
The drums are like, you know, cleaned up and very clear, but they're not like overly cleaned up and hyper polished. So
Yeah.
it still maintains that kind of old school feel.
That acoustic
Yeah,
sound.
I mean,
yeah.
it's definitely a band that when you listen to them on record, it's like, wow, I should probably see these guys live.
Yeah,
Because I
and-
bet it even sounds even better.
Yeah, you were mentioning that they're coming around here in the next couple months, it
Yeah,
sounds like.
yeah, they're
so.
on tour with Satan, and Night Demon, I believe, and
Cool.
there's a couple other bands on there.
Great.
So
Well, if you have the opportunity to go see Haunt, it definitely sounds like they're worth checking out. And I really love the synth. It's definitely very tasteful. It's subtle in some areas, and like you said, like with the push-pull, it's really, it kind of acts as like a pad, like a bed under some of the tracks, and then it kind of rises up while the other instruments kind of take a break and stuff.
Yep.
So it's got that real nice touch with the synths and everything like that. Musicianship and songwriting, I really love like the powerful choruses and the bridges. Like Mind Freeze gets stuck in my head for like days at a time, man. Like that pre-chorus into that chorus is just so awesome. The melody of the vocal melody is just spot on. It's so well written, and I really like the pacing. It's very well paced. Like the album feels like it's not trying to in a rush to get anywhere. It's not trying to get you in and out of the door real quickly. It's just very well arranged, very well paced.
Yeah, and like the songs are cool too, because like, you know, it'll be like kind of a banger of a song, like Light the Beacon's kind of a banger of a song, a little more mid-pace, but then Hearts on Fire is like super fast.
Yeah.
It's got like, you know, it's really catchy. Hearts on Fire.
Yeah.
You know, it's great. And then you go into Mind Freeze, and Mind Freeze is a little slower and catchier, and you know, the whole album kind of ebbs and flows.
It does.
With that, you know, and just when you think like, you know, am I getting to the end of the record yet? Then the record will be done, and you're like, I kind of want to listen to it again.
Yeah. Yeah. Lyrics and themes, I mean, it seems like they're kind of going for like a spooky type of like vibe, kind of tapping into like the old horror movies. And
I've spoken about this in other videos about how like the music sounds like the artwork. You know, you can tell that the lyrics and the themes, that's pretty cool, are purposely set up to support like a world that's created on the cover.
Yeah,
you
right.
know? And that's definitely accomplished.
Yes. And last but not least, we have Atmosphere. Old school, nostalgic, and just like kind of...
I feel like that's like the word of like the metal scene nowadays.
As of right now,
nostalgia. That's like, you know, and this album, I feel like kind of checks that. Like you've got all this stuff harping back to the 80s and everything, and it's a lot of it's really killer. But then you got, you know, all the synth stuff, which is really adding to that atmosphere. You know, and like the guitars aren't crazy cleaned up. There's not a lot of gain on them either, so it kind of sounds like, you know, it's like from an older time. And that all just it's one really great complete package. And in terms of like nailing that old school sound and atmosphere and vibe, I would say they definitely hit it.
Yeah, definitely. And just to kind of talk a little bit about the musicianship too, the main songwriter, Trevor Church, is very active and busy.
Yep,
in the
Beastmaker,
scene.
Hysteria.
Yeah.
Hysteria is amazing. Beastmaker's a great band.
So, and he also is an engineer at Church Recordings, and this is where he kind of, he sounds like he's an incredibly busy guy. I mean, just looking at the list here, they've put out, mad respect to you, Trevor, and to the rest of your team. What would you say is your final verdict? What's your final score here?
I mean, out of all the albums that they've put out, I would say this is probably my favorite. So I mean, it's really solid. Like I got melodies stuck in my head and all that stuff.
It's a great album.
It's a great album. I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 spooky ghosts.
Okay.
In the spirit of Haunt.
Yes, I like that, and I also agree with your rating. I gave it a 4 out of 5 also, because I think Mind Freeze was my favorite song, and truly just for the chorus. And then earlier when I came in, you played Light the Beacon, and I was like, man, this song's really good too. So there's a lot of really, really great songs.
Yeah. Saviors of Man, Have No Fear. I have a lot of favorites from this record. It's a great album.
So overall, 4 out of 5 spooky ghosts from us over here at the Metal Forge. And keep up the great work, everyone at Haunt. They're out of Fresno, California, so it's always nice to see good American bands just getting out there and killing it, and hopefully we can catch them on tour.
I would love to catch them.
That would be awesome.
They'd be great.
They seem like a great band to see live. So
If you see us at a show, come say hi.
yeah, absolutely. Love to chat with you, say hi. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Metal Forge Reviews, and follow us on whatever other social media we hopefully will have at the time of us releasing this.
Yeah, we're getting it up and running.
Yeah.
It's happening.
We're making things happen, folks. Thanks for tuning in. See you around.
Take care.